Okay. Hi, TikTok, hi, Facebook, and YouTube family. Welcome to Tony. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Ernest. Thank you. Hold on one second. TJ. T. Can you keep your voice down, please? Hi, everybody. Thank you, Miss Ernest Sanctuary. Well, I mean, taking a break sometimes is good. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really was looking forward to getting back to work today. Call me crazy. See, don't be deceived. Don't be deceived by all of this makeup. I'm a nerd. Like when it comes down to work, I literally had a plan. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get out of the office because I'd been in there 8:30, and I only went to the post office real quick to get something I had to sign for, and I literally had lunch in the office because I was like, I need my party. I'm gonna finish this whole thing. So I was like, okay, by 5 I'm out of here. No, I said by 4:30. By 4:30, I was like, okay, let me respond to this. Oh, this person. I found myself till 6:30. For whatever reason, I was just really hyped to go back to work. I don't know. I'm nerdish. It's just that yeah, it's tiring, but that's why I'm coming early so I can go to bed because I have criminal trials and I do criminal defense. I have criminal trials tomorrow morning. I have, to review my cases, plea agreements, and then still need to get to school in the morning and head to court. See, I mean, yeah, that's why we're coming in early. So don't be shocked. It's not hostage situation. It's for real. Hi everyone. This is Attorney Apistola Adebola Olale, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. And thanks everybody for all your recommendations for the best Amala spot in Houston, Texas. Because I've went to a couple of them, I should say. So it was good to have a feel of the two spots. So when next I'm there, thank you. That means a lot. When next time I'm going to, because I think there were like 5 choices. Like, okay, well, yeah, well, I want one in one weekend, I just because you want it's gonna go to my butt. Go figure. Well, anyway, I am an immigration attorney, and we are physically located in Alabama, but we represent Demopolis, Alabama. We represent immigration clients in all states. Doesn't matter what state you live in. We can represent your immigration case. And Miss Eleanor Sanctuary is always very gracious enough to help us put the contact information on Instagram. Contact number is 334-341-4475. Website is olalealawfirm.com. Yes, thank you. You saw me in Houston. Where? Oh, were you the one who came to the was that you? The very first restaurant? Hell 401. Was that you? I don't know. Anyway, okay, but I mean, it was fun. I got to see two of my friends that have not seen since we left college in 2000, 24 years ago. Like y'all. What? I didn't know I was that old. That's scary. 24, like 2 decades and 4 years. And they hadn't changed, Snoopy and Flexi. I was like, I mean, are these guys vampires or something? Like, besides, Snoopy didn't have any gray hair. Flexi's got gray, really, really cool. I was like, what the hell? Like, y'all, like, you haven't changed since college. Like, what's going on? But anyway, if we can help you with your immigration case, be sure to contact us. Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Phone number on WhatsApp is 334-341-4475. Texas, Lydia is usually on with me most nights, because sometimes you're my for me. But we would be glad to help you out and get you set up to discuss your case. Yeah, but where were you? If you let me know where you are, know. Hello, Miss Delvima, how are you? Okay, so let's talk immigration, y'all. So we're building our YouTube I have to correct this kid one more time. We're building a YouTube audience and subscribers. Please subscribe at Olale Immigration YouTube and all platforms. Actually, will be very very appreciative of that. So let's talk immigration, yo. And I think I've mentioned about this topic. I'm not sure if we've spoken about it in full, but once again, let's talk about it. My marriage case and pending asylum. Marriage case and pending asylum. That's the topic tonight. If you've got questions, please put them. Hey, Mama. My mom is on. I did tell 63. Yeah, but we got us earlier on the law of rocks. So if you have questions, put in the comment section. We get to it later on once I'm done. But real quick, let's talk about my marriage case and pending asylum. For whatever reason, I'm seeing. Well, I won't say for whatever reason. Asylum is taking forever, like 200 years for them to schedule interviews. So obviously, okay, it's about okay, actually, obviously there are a lot more people looking for alternatives than because they have someone who consulted with me today. They've been waiting on interviewing the asylum case since 2016, 8 years. And the thing is, you can apply for an advance for, but it's got to be for a specific reason. You can go back to your home country. It's like you're stuck. You don't have status. It's a whole lot. So everyone is looking for what's the alternative, and that's why. So there's quite a number of people not getting married, even though they've got an asylum case pending. And so we're seeing a whole lot of this issue, a lot of these questions come up. Like, so what happens? Yeah, my mom is on. What happens to my asylum case if I get married and then I file for a green card? How does that play? How do they work? Do I cancel one? Do I withdraw one? Is it going to be flagged in the system that I've got one and then they won't? So let's just wrap that up. And I hope, talking about one more time would help. So this is how I wanted to look at it. Asylum case and marriage-based case, they are completely separate applications. One does not have anything to do with the other in the sense of one does not cancel the other out. Another way to look at it is this. When you apply for an asylum case and after 150 days, you're able to apply for a work authorization, you are able to get a C8 category work permit based on a pending asylum, right? When you apply for a marriage-based case and you file your green card application, the I-485, you are able to apply for yet another work permit, the C9 category work permit. So you're able to have two work permits, different categories at the same time. Why? Because those applications that they're based on do not cancel each other out. So that's another way to look at it. Like if you're thinking, okay, do I have to withdraw? No. So I have quite a number of clients who have a C8 category work permit and a C9, and based on different applications, one is asylum, one is a marriage-based case, adjustment case. And so because you're able to do that, that is an indication that one does not affect the other. So if you come to this country and you file for asylum, that is taking forever. And now you're getting married to somebody. Real marriage. And then you get married and then the person files for you. What should you do with your asylum case? Nothing. Simple answer, nothing. Leave your asylum case where it is. It's not affecting your marriage case. It's not going to come up in your interview, most likely, because they want to confirm that you filed for asylum. So what was it that you filed for asylum for? You just explain. You're not at a marriage-based interview for an asylum case, but an immigration officer wants to know, making sure you didn't just file that just because you wanted to file something. But you leave your asylum case as is. When you get your green card, based on the marriage case, that is when you take action on your pending asylum case. Now, this is applicable if first of all, let's talk about affirmative asylum, meaning you have not been called for an interview. Now you've got your green card through marriage. The next step you have to do is contact the asylum office where your case is pending. Everyone has an asylum receipt notice. When you've got your receipt notice at the bottom left corner, it will tell you the asylum office where your case is pending. That's where you send your asylum, your request to withdraw the asylum case after, not during what you do while your marriage-based case is pending, when you have your green card. It's my green card, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, green card to 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒔𝒑. That's when you file or you send a letter of withdrawal to the asylum office, asking them to withdraw your application based on the fact that you're now a green card holder, and so you no longer need the asylum case. Keep in mind, however, the fact that you get your green card through marriage, but you filed for asylum and withdrew your asylum case, unless you've got a reason to go back to your home country, it doesn't matter if you withdraw your asylum case. You'll want to be careful about traveling back to your home country until you become a citizen, because you do not want them to make an allegation that you filed a frivolous application. If there's an allegation, a conclusion that your asylum case was a frivolous application, even if you don't get asylum, you don't get any immigration benefit from it. If there's a conclusion that it was a frivolous application, they can literally revoke your green card. So that's how serious asylum is. It's good. It gives you an authorized stay, but even after withdrawal, there are still consequences or things to be aware of, and not make an error. So if you've got an asylum case that's pending, then you get married, you go through the marriage case, leave your asylum case as is, and my fault, or days and whatever. If you're someone who has already had your asylum interview and you're now in court, you weren't granted asylum, you're referred to court, you get married, and the person is now going to file for you. Usually, whenever you've got a case in court, even if you file a green card application, at some point, USCIS will tell you they cannot adjudicate your green card application because you are in court and they have no jurisdiction to do that. What you need to do then is to file a motion to terminate or request PD, prosecutorial discretion, to terminate your proceedings in court. Once that is done, based on the fact that you've got a pending marriage case, once that is done, you go back to USCIS, and then they can adjudicate your green card. So either way, whether you are in affirmative action, affirmative step, asylum, or defensive, being in court, and you get married, that asylum case is living and breathing life on its own. It doesn't mean that you have to do anything about it. Get your green card through marriage. Once you have the green card through marriage, that is when you deal with the asylum case. The blessing in that actually is you're able to get a C8 category work permit and a C9 work permit. So, I mean, it's a win-win situation. So please hear me loud and clear. A lot of people are switching over to a marriage case. And I use that word switching loosely because that's what a lot of people, when we get calls like, can I switch from an asylum case to a marriage-based case? And I go, you're not switching. You are filing a marriage-based case, but you're going to leave your asylum case where it is. Let it keep running. So it's not like you are switching over and then forgetting about the asylum case. No. Now, there are some people who go ahead and completely withdraw their asylum cases. That's okay. It's up to you. I just, as an attorney practicing immigration for almost 10 years, I do not, because one of the dangers, quote unquote, in doing that is this. Even if you've got a viable alternative like a marriage-based case that is ongoing and you withdraw your asylum case, it still does not stop USCIS from issuing you a notice to appear in immigration court, in spite of having a pending case. Most of the time they will not, but once you pull your asylum case, then you don't have any fallback status, keeping in mind that you have a pending adjustment status. It's not a status, you just have a pending case that authorizes you to stay in the country. It does not stop them from still issuing you a notice to appear in immigration court. So it's always best to just leave the asylum application as is. Get done with your marriage-based case. Once you're done with that, then that's the time when you have your green card in hand. That is the time you now go ahead to withdraw the asylum case, and that's it. Simple, right? I think that's it. And that's all she wrote, people. Hello, Miss Gio. How are you? Hello, Miss Onome. Any update from your end as far as well, you know what I'm talking about. Hello, Tutuola. How are you? Any update? Miss Gil, how are the kids? Happy Tuesday to you as well. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Okay, so let's get to questions. That was pretty quick. Let's get to questions. Let's see how many we can get. I have like 7 cases in the morning, young. So even go along, we know that's me. That's me. I'm going on TikTok first and I'll circle back. So please put your, so this is disclaimer. This the part where you put your questions in the comment section. I tried to get us to as many questions as possible, given the time we have. If you need, if you have questions you want answered, please put them in the comment section. That's how we do it. And I'll get to your questions as soon as we go around. So I'm starting on TikTok and then we'll circle back around. And if you are on YouTube, please subscribe, share, like, follow. We would really appreciate it on all platforms. It would be very, very much appreciated. Okay. Let me go back here. Let's see. And please try not to repeat your questions. Disclaimer. Disclaimer. General information, nothing specific to anyone's case. If you need something, and you need a more tailored evaluation of your case, we'll be more than happy to schedule a consultation for you. 30 minutes is 140, 45 minutes to 10, 1 hour to 50. You can do that on our website. The most straightforward, easiest route to schedule your consultation. olalayalawfirm.com. Send a text message also to or WhatsApp or regular text to our office number 334-341-4475. Thank you. When are you coming? Where? Dami alabi ibo mumbo. Ibolewa. Happy you're taking my in-laws case. Okay. Okay. I have a marriage interview today. It went great. Answers match. Got separated. What to expect next? Hopefully an approval. My probation was over in 2021. How long do I wait to apply for N400? 5 years clear, 5 years after that. That's what I was. So some would tell you 5 years from when you were convicted. I usually say keep it a clear 5 years from when you were done serving your sentence, so that there is no spillage into anything. And USCIS doesn't come back and say, well, you were still, no. That's what I usually recommend. Is it faster to be in US for I-130 or your home country? Depends on what category you're in. If you are an immediate relative, most likely it's going to be faster for you, because the immediate relative, your child, unmarried, under 21 child of a U.S. citizen, spouse, and parents. If you fall in that category, then it's going to be faster if you're going to adjust your status than if you have to wait at the embassy. If your VA is denied because of moral character, how long will it take before you're deported? Hopefully you don't get deported. We got to stay positive. Hopefully you're able to find options or alternatives to, or immigration benefit that you may still qualify for, rather than thinking along the line of deported. But there's no time frame, because they don't just put you on the plane and say, hey, I'm allowed to be deported. No, that's due process. So you're going to be given a court date, unless you're doing expedited removal, which it's very, very few specific cases. But for the most part, you would have your day in court, you would have a master calendar hearing, you have individual hearing before you, and then you have an option to appeal if there's a basis to appeal. So there's a whole lot of process that entails. My I-365 case is already 40 months. So now what do I do? If you have a lawyer in the case, have the lawyer reach out to the VA office. Let them know, it's out to them of present time. You can also reach out to your congressman or woman and let them know that, ask them for their help in looking into your case. And if all else fails and it's already out to them of present time, I'll send someone today. You've got to be ready to file a lawsuit against USCIS. Because if you've tried everything else You've contacted them. You've done congressional assistance. You've sent the letter. Your attorney has sent emails because there's only so many emails you can send, and nothing, none bulging. Then the only other option you would have would be to file a lawsuit and ask, it's basically mandamus against them, which is the court telling them not to approve your case, but to make a decision on your case. If my husband is employed, can I still start adjustment of status while he's away? You can, but you just have to notify USCIS that he's deployed so they don't schedule an interview. And if they do, you've got to notify them to hold the interview or to reschedule or to just put your case on hold until he's back from deployment. Hello, Mr. Mike. Shalom, Noah. Okay. I filed for about 10 months ago. I have work permits. So let's do this. Anything as far as processing times, please go to uscis.gov/processing times. It's the same information that I can give you that you would find there. So if you're looking for, about how long you can, that's where you go. So anything about that, I'm going to skip those questions, just an FYI, so you know. Filed for about 10 months ago. I have work permit. I did biometrics, and I've not heard from anything. I would assume that you have your prima facie determination. Hopefully you do. If you don't, hopefully you get it. But other than that, your work permit, biometrics, advanced parole, prima facie, other than that, it's going to be a waiting game. That's the reality of that's the reality there. I'll get to that 1 second. Okay. And please don't repeat questions. The person who asked about filing about for 10 months, you repeated your question like 7 times. Actually, more than that. Let's keep going. Because now I'm going to have to skip questions in between your questions, which is not fair. Okay. I didn't get the biometrics appointment on time and missed the date. What should I do? Contact them. Sometimes USCIS, and that's something we've had in our firm too, where they send it to you, and for whatever reason, they schedule like a week to they give you a week out, and by the time you get the mail, it's like the day of or the day after. So if that's what happened in your case, go ahead and contact them. Let them know that you missed it in the sense of the mail arrived late, and obviously you can backdate your appointment. So. And if that's the case, they'll document it and they will go ahead and reschedule you for another biometrics appointment. But the earlier you contact them, the better. Don't just wait for so long. Let's see. Okay. Okay, let me get that one. What if you've been married, but your husband refuses to give you documents you need to file? Then you may want to speak with a lawyer to see if you're going to qualify for an abuse-based case, because someone refusing to help to file for you can actually be part of abuse evidence. That is manipulation, that is control, because they know that if they give you the documents you need for your immigration case, obviously you're going to be able to move forward. And some of the spouses don't want you moving forward. They want to control you and keep you where they want you to be. And in that case, and that's part of what even the Immigration Nationality Act already provides for, that because of the control that some immigrants are subjected to, the spouses refuse to give them documents to help. So that's part of what you can actually use as evidence in your file case. But the best thing is to consult with a lawyer so you know if you are indeed eligible for that. My priority date became current in the month in the May 2024. What do I do next? I had my interview already. That's a very general question. You need to sit down with a lawyer. I hope you have a lawyer in your case. If you don't, then get one because priority date of what? What is it that you filed? What category, what preference category are you in? How would you have an interview if your priority is not current yet? There's a whole lot of missing information in your case. Hello, Miss Sabina. Thank you. Applied for VAR. To work and travel documents take a long time to get. You can average anywhere from 4 months to about a year. So, and his family members and his family members and threatening you not to do VAWA. Okay. Not to dare do VAWA. Okay, so what is your question then? Okay, so yeah, okay, that's the same person. That's what I'm saying. Sit down with a lawyer to evaluate your case. And I think, well, how would they know? I sound like that's TikTok video. How would they know? How would they know? Who's gonna know? Or something like that. But seriously, how would they know that you filed for VAWA if you don't tell them? Because VAWA is a confidential process. So if you don't tell them you're filing for VAWA, how they can't call USCIS to find that information out. So how would they know? Don't be afraid about what anyone is going to do to you. And that's why the reasons why VAWA is a confidential process. The U.S. Congress has already provided for that, so that people who have to go through that are not in harm's way, and you are able to do what you need to do. What am I doing? Hold on 1 second. Yes, this is why you don't put me in charge of technology. Okay, so, but that's what I would say. Sit down with a lawyer. Thank you, Richard. I think once it's denied, you put on a plane a few days or weeks. No, no, that's not. No, that's not how it works. No, unless you really do something. I don't know, but it doesn't work that way. You get a notice to appear immigration court. I want to do EB2 with you. Please contact our office or email info@olalayalawfirm.com. 334-341-4475, or go on a website. The fastest way to schedule your consultation. That's how I start all cases. You've got to start with scheduling a proper paid consultation. Okay, I don't want to. Okay, so with him being deployed, will that stop him from signing the necessary paperwork? No, that won't stop him from signing. It's just that he's not going to be physically present for. But what I usually tell my clients to do is, if you're going to be filing, include also the deployment documents, so you have that they're put on notice that the person has been deployed. And if you don't get an interview scheduled until your spouse comes back, then at that point you can also, when he or she comes back, notify USCIS that they're not back, so that, because sometimes just knowing that the person is deployed, they will put a pause on scheduling an interview or schedule it way out, depending on how long the person is going to be deployed for. Is it possible to expedite the I-730 family petition, please? You can expedite anything with USCIS. The question is, do you have grounds to expedite that? So you can expedite anything. How long does a perm process in EB3 take? It's the same perm process in EB2 for the most part. Well, EB2 sometimes depends on, because I do a lot of professors and college professors and all that. So their selection and recruitment process is kind of different. But generally, give yourself, from when you get prevailing wage determination to certification, give yourself a good 2 months. Pre-COVID, you could say 9 months max, everything, recruitment process. Post-COVID, yeah, about that, at least 18 months. Yeah, so 2 years, really. That's what I would say. Save that. I wouldn't, but they said there are ways they can find out how. Listen to me loud and clear. If there's anyone else like this lady here, and God, bless your heart, that is being threatened or made, you've been made to be afraid that they're going to find out. Nobody can find out if you file for VAWA unless you tell them. You cannot even pick up the phone and call USCIS and say, hey, I want to check on, I want to find. They will not give you any information. First of all, the contact reps usually don't have access to VAWA information because it is sealed from day one. It's not something they can look into to give you any information, let alone even start to tell anybody. That's why attorneys have a dedicated email address. If you're not an attorney, they will not respond to that email. And that's why you've got to physically write them a letter. If you're not an attorney, and you have to prove who you are. If you don't prove it, they'll send you a generic letter back saying that, we can't give you any information, yada, yada, yada. Unless you tell them, there's not how anyone is going to know. So you don't have to say anything. And there's no way they can find information from USCIS. It's actually against the law for any USCIS officer to reveal anything in a VAWA case to anybody, given the fact that it's a confidential case. So, okay, let's see. I've been filing for my children 8 years ago. They approved them since 2020, but till now they're still in Niger. What can I do? It will depend, Elijah. It will depend on Miriam. It will depend on what category your kids are. Over 21, citizen. Elijah, citizen. If you're a citizen, then you obviously can file for any child of any age, or whether married or unmarried. But if your children we're talking, I'm assuming if you're talking about 8 years, I can tell you definitely they're not immediate relatives, in the sense that they're not minor children that are unmarried under 21. But then it would not depend on, are you a citizen? If you're a citizen, then are they married? Are they unmarried? That everyone if you're filing for married kids, they're in a different category than unmarried children of citizens. And so that is things you have to factor. Those are things you have to factor in. If you're not a citizen and you are filing for children who are over 21, unmarried as a green card holder, it takes much longer than someone who is a citizen. Those are things you've got to consider. Okay. Do I have hope for prosecutorial discretion? I-130 approved, being 2 years. Thank you. Why not? As my dad used to say, ask, what's the worst that can happen? To say no. That's how I always live my life. What's the worst that can happen? Why didn't you know? Okay. Hey, kiddo. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go eat.
Let's try that English again.
I'm about to go eat.
So there's not, I mean, I won't see any reason why you shouldn't. If you have an attorney, it'll be better. Because then your attorney will be able to articulate much better in legal terms, or whatever the case may be. And I've seen that the OPLA DHS attorneys, they would usually respond faster to attorneys than the respondents themselves. So especially with an I-130 that's been approved, I mean, I have cases that we have pending VAWA cases, and we get a prima facie determination and use that to request PD and get the client out of court. So I don't see a reason why. And recently I just got an approved I-130, someone with an approved I-130 out of court, because she was referred to immigration court because of our asylum case, and now she's out of court and going forward with her 485. So yes, absolutely. He's only going to be deployed for 9 months. Okay. Include that information in the documents you send, so that you're putting them on notice in advance. Just having bank marriage photo enough evidence while we went for the interview, got canceled, whatever you have. And then if you have limited if you have limited information as far as photos, insurance statements, affidavits or bills, then make sure that you have a much more detailed declaration that would describe. I usually tell my clients, we have questionnaires that we give clients, and so that is like a guide. So because a lot of people are not, Amy, I like a for a living. I can talk you to sleep. Like you will fall asleep. That's what I do. That's my talent. but not everybody likes to talk. Not everybody is able to say and have a good story. So that's why, because of that, we have questionnaires we give our clients, and you answer the questions, and then we draft that based on your answers. If we need additional information from you, we'll let you know. But some of the things we do is to tell you, hey, describe what you guys do on a daily, your daily routine. What is your nighttime routine? Who makes breakfast on the weekends? Who does the laundry? Where do you guys usually go to? Do you go to church? Do you go to mosque? What did you do last Valentine? So all of that tells a story of how you live together, which really is what they're trying to see. Anybody can get life insurance, anybody can get bank statements, but when you tell a story of intimacy and what sexual position in your life, yeah, it's listen. Because then I'm directly, let's leave that alone. Okay, let's see. Can you still apply for citizenship if 2 years ago you have a misdemeanor? It will depend on how that misdemeanor, what it is, because there's some traffic issues in states, depending on that can be classified as a violation of misdemeanor. If it's like a simple assault, it just depends on how it is, how it is termed in your state, and based on how it's coded, I should say, in criminal code in your state, and based on how it's coded, how it translates in immigration terms. So you're going to be best to just sit down with a lawyer. If you have a lawyer, discuss with your lawyer. I love your hair. Are you single? Thank you for loving my hair. Am I single? Trust me, I'm a whole lot for anybody. You've got to have like Tani, the most patient person in the Bible. Who's the most patient man in the Bible that we know? Who's the most patient man in the Bible? Job, I think. Yeah, I've got to have the patience of Job to deal with. Just saying. Let me go more. The more you know. Thank you. My I-130 F-45 were approved. My children's cases outside U.S. is still under review. Please what you did. Just wait to see what's going on. If it hasn't been that long and it's still within the more processing time, then you'll get to it. Okay, Elijah, you said this in 2 years ago. Okay. So they are older kids, right? I'm assuming they're older kids. What did you 21, Law, right? Jimmy, I'm married 91. My asylum BIA is administratively closed and about approved. Can BIA terminate proceedings? You can request you still can do a PD request and see if they'll join, especially at BIA 11. So always best to approach it that way first. And if they agree, it's a lot easier to remand back to immigration court and then terminate. VAR case is pending. Can I marry someone else? Absolutely not. No. This is the reasoning behind not marrying while you are on a VAWA case. VAWA case is a marriage-based case. That means that you're only able to file for VAWA. You're eligible to file for VAWA based on a qualifying relationship. Look at it this way. If you cannot marry two people at the same time to file for a regular green card case, you cannot marry someone else, even if you've divorced your abusive spouse while your VAWA case is pending, because the only reason you're able to file that VAWA case is the qualifying relationship you established with that abusive spouse. Once you remarry, that cuts off the qualifying relationship aspect of your VAWA case, which is the foundation of the VAWA case, and there's nothing else you can do. You will not have to be stuck with this person. Now, if you're saying you're ready to let go of your VAWA case and move on with this new person, then that's on you. However, if you want to continue the VAWA case and marry, that will be the complete end of your VAWA petition. That's it. My name was off on you. Okay. Hello, Ghanaian wife. How are you? All right. Let me go real quick here. Watching from Maryland. Hello. Can filing for my disabled brother be prioritized, expedited because he is dependent on me instead of the traditional 15-year wait? The petition can be prioritized, yes, but not the adjustment of status part, because each year there is a number of not visas assigned to each preference category. So they cannot jump the line because of that. That's just what the law is. Now, if you're able to apply for humanitarian parole for him and see if they approve that, it's a long shot because you've got to prove a whole lot. But that's something you can look into. But they will not. They can expedite the I-130 petition, but you cannot jump the 15-year wait on the visa number becoming available. It's just not going to happen. Very well, thank you. How's Y? Miss Gira, who's YJ? I don't have three kids. I only have two. It's from me, really. Do you mean SJ or TJ? Okay, I think you mean T. I'm looking at my keyboard. There's T next to Y. I think you mean T. It's going where? Hold on there. That's my sidekick. He's gonna be people alone. That's I'm stuck with him. Keep on shit. That's the life of the party of our family, TJ. Please, I just feel based on asylum. I just feel filed for I-45 business. Congratulations on grant of asylum. By emergency appointment schedule, will I face another interview? Most of the time, they do not, unless they really have to. But I can count on one hand my asylum clients over the past years that have been scheduled for interview. It hasn't been that many. So, all right, let's get to Instagram, and then I think answer. Let's see. Okay. Hostage situation. Miracles happen. Miracles happen. 360 detailed cleaning from Washington State. Thank you for joining. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓. Hello. You said it's safe to travel on my advanced parole, right? I don't know who you are. No, I don't. I didn't tell you that. Now, if you've had a consultation with me and I evaluated your case, I would have been able to tell you that. But based on your username, I don't know who you are, so I didn't say. I have never said on this platform that it is go ahead and travel. No, I always say talk to your lawyer, and it's not specific to your case. But if the only issue you have is the unlawful presence, there shouldn't be a problem. You ain't gonna catch me saying, "Oh yeah, go ahead and travel." If you're my clients, maybe I'll say something like that, but I'll tell you, "Hey, everybody, will let me know when you're leaving. Call me. I'm on standby." But no, you ain't gonna hear me say that. So try another one. You ain't ready. That surprised you, right? I know. I shock myself sometimes. I was supposed to, yeah. I went to bed at 2:30, got up at 5:30. I just, for whatever reason, I was just really hyped, but I had to. If I show you my office floor right here, I have well over. So in the office today, we had about 200 and something notices come in. So the rest of it was like, because I know that I could cite that some of them have biometrics notices in them. So like, no, let me take them home because I'm going to court tomorrow and I'm not going to stop in the office and come back. So I just cannot risk people not knowing. So I started doing that. So started doing that yesterday and then brought more. So, yeah. But I just was just really excited to go to work. I'm nerdish, right? I can be very, very, don't be fooled though. Is someone filing for family one person out, the family can travel without everyone? If someone filing for family one person out, the family can travel without everyone. I don't understand your question. If you want to rephrase that. 4429.Sammy. Thank you. Pel 401. Where? You haven't told me where. Was it at the Amala zone? Y'all, I'm telling you, I need to get on the treadmill because she. Mm, let's just leave that alone. Let's leave it alone. My mom would tell I've always liked eating. Ever since I was a baby, I've always loved my swallow. Mo boya yeah, my kiwa, man. I've always loved my swallow because my mom told me the story that my grandmother used to love taking care of me when I was sick because they know I would eat. Ah, I'd be mama, oh my dear, and I will get well. So I was never sick for long because I know she would eat. So, and 45 years on, we're still doing the same thing. Go figure. If your entire family, they all have to travel together. If your entire family has what? If your entire family, what is going on with the entire family? I'm trying to understand your question. Okay. Hello, finest Shandy. Shalafia lewa. If someone filed for mother and her kids, they almost have to travel together. Okay, so I think Suzette, are you asking that if so you're outside the country and you're asking, let me know if I'm understanding you correctly, and you are the mother, I'm assuming, and then you've got derivative beneficiaries. You're asking that once you get the immigrant visas, do you all have to come to the US together, or can the children come later on? Is that what you're asking? Let me know if that's what you're asking. Can I file EB2 national interest waiver and get green card as an asylum dependent? So it gets tricky, and here's why. Can you file an EB2 national interest waiver petition? Yes, by itself. Can you now get your green card and take yourself out of the, I'm assuming, family asylum application? As long as at the time you filed the asylum case, you had not accrued any unlawful presence, even though you may not be able to get a green card, meaning adjust your status in the country, because asylum is not a status you're authorized to stay, you may need to file for advanced parole and consular process, meaning apply for an immigrant visa equivalent of a green card at the embassy. But if you haven't accrued any unlawful presence, you can do that after you have applied and received an advanced parole for the purpose of going to an interview in an embassy. If you've already accrued unlawful presence prior to filing the asylum case, which is 180 days or more, then you will need a waiver. So it would depend on what happened before the asylum was filed. So if you don't have a lawyer in your case, I would say sit down with a lawyer before you make any moves. Before you travel, please do. I think that's the same person. Okay, that's the same person asking. Is USCIS still waiving interviews on marriage-based green card applications? If yes, how do you know you qualify for it? We're seeing a downtick on that. It's gone down really, really drastically, especially this year. We're seeing more interviews being scheduled. 2023 was great, but more interviews are being scheduled for marriage-based cases. Even really, really, good, solid cases, we still have interviews. And then some. I mean, there was one that we had an RFU after sending like 200 something pages and sent us an RFU for good faith. They were like, was approved without an interview. February? Can't remember. January, February, or March, one of the two. But it was like, okay, what else you need? But we're seeing a downtick in that. There's still may, but how do you know if you qualify? You wouldn't know. They would just approve your case. Can I seek asylum while I'm on a student visa? Yes, you can. Generally, you can. Disclaimer, general information. Hello, Mr. Prince. You're welcome. Absolutely, you are welcome. Any updates, Mr. Prince? Any updates? Come here where? Come here where? Funny Johnny killing yourself. Can someone who is married and filed VAW and has a work permit, send an invitation to their mom to visit. And you don't have a status, but it doesn't mean you can tell someone to come visit you. But the person still has to prove that they will return back to their home country. I just filed. I think that's the same person who filed an I-45 based on asylum. Okay. Can I renew my work permit when my I-45 status indicates it's actively being reviewed by USCIS? Absolutely, as long as it hasn't been denied. Okay. So I think that's the same question as far as do you have an interview with your, hardly do they schedule interviews with I-45 based on asylum status. It does not mean USCIS can schedule interview for any basis when it comes to I-45. It doesn't matter what the online petition is. Asylum, NIW, I-130, I-360. I-45 is about admissibility. If they feel that there's something in your record that makes you inadmissible and they need more information from you, they will schedule an interview for you. It's hardly done in employment cases, asylum cases, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, because I've seen that happen even in my practice, just so you know. Do you get an acknowledgement receipt when you send your EAD renewal form? Yes, they'll send you a receipt notice. Let's see. How much do you charge for removal proceedings with convictions? I actually don't take cases like that. My I-130 is now 1 year and 2 months. When I check in the processing time, it says 39.3 months. Is that a good sign? I don't rely on that, to be honest, because it fluctuates every single day. Every day. 2 weeks ago, I think the value I-36 was like 33 months. I checked yesterday, it's 39 months. I don't even, when I'm able to just see that it's outside number processing time, that's what I'm looking for. If it's still within number processing, I doesn't even bother, because USCIS doesn't even know. They don't know. So now I tell my clients, don't be fixated on that. You're going to give yourself high blood pressure. Yeah. I'm thinking of filing asylum without my partner because it left me with my kids and went back to Nigeria, leaving us alone. I'm on F2. What are the possibilities, please? Sit down with a lawyer to discuss your case. Let's see. Okay, same questions. Let's see. Hola, mama. Thank you. Hello, Miss Aminat. How are you? All right, I'll answer that question. Laughing with that pleases God. Okay, I'm not going to this Miss Ernest. I just want to ignore you completely. This finance standing, going to ignore you too. Because what now? An I-130 approved could help with your VAR process. It can. It's actually, whenever we have cases where we have an I-130 that's been approved, because that means that you've already proven good faith. So that part of it helps with the good faith shared residency requirements. Hello, Mr. Kelvin. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person for the first time. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. Yeah, don't mind if you watch a criminal trial, but I'm looking forward to that. She won't tell me, let me tell her. She was like, let me tell you something, y'all. I live in a place where we don't have access to. Like I went to Houston, it's like, all y'all were giving the like, wow, look at all these options. You can't even decide. And then we come back and we're like, we just, hey, got about sense when Latin in Massachusetts, my mom helps me, like, my Jake, so please. Okay, let's see. I want to file for my siblings. I'm a U.S. citizen. How long will it take? 250 years. No less than 15 years, because that's the equivalent to 250 years. I always say this: if you're going to be filing for your sibling, I say if your sibling has young kids, say for instance you are filing for a sibling that have kids who are like 10 and under, 10 young, well, 15 years, maybe 6 and under, where they may benefit from, not necessarily because your sibling may be in their 40s or 50s by the time they come here, but if the kids are still like under 21, they will benefit from being derivative beneficiaries. And so they would get the green cards, and that, trickles down to their own generations to come. So don't let the fact that it's 15 to 17-year wait deter you from doing that. Think about your nieces and nephews who are going to eventually benefit from that. Have a pending application. Can I travel or advance parole? If you have a lawyer, talk to your lawyer first. But generally, I say, look, the way to look at advance parole is this. And there's some lawyers who will tell you don't ever travel, and that's okay, to each their own. But advanced parole is basically the equivalent of a visa. You're going to use a visa to come into the United States. If you've got advanced parole, that is acknowledgement that you have a pending application here. You don't intend to abandon the application, and to prove that you haven't abandoned it, we're letting you use this document or this combination card as proof that you've got authorization equivalent of a visa to present at the port of entry and come back in. That's what that is. That already takes into consideration that you may have overstayed at some point, but we allow you to come back and resume your application until we make a decision. That's advanced parole in a nutshell. Whether or not it's safe to travel is now going to be very, very case specific, dependent on what's in your record. After medical RFE and Val, what next? So hopefully you'll be, next thing you hear is going to be a green card. But like I said, I caution that they will review your case. If there's any reason to bring you in for an interview, they can't even after an RFE for medical. That has happened to 2 of my clients so far. One has his green card already. The other one has her green card already. The other was still waiting on that after the interview. No update. Okay. How many days? It's just last week, Niabi. Mr. Prince, was last week, right? It was a week ago, I think. It's 250 years. I mean, that's what it feels like. It feels like it. Let me see. Okay, Mr. Prince, I'm gonna you sent me a request. You want to come on? So if I press it, don't chicken out now. And I should research Mr. Kelvin. Okay. Wait, Mr. Kelvin? Mr. Kelvin is Nigerian. He's not Yoruba. I'll try anything as long as it's African food. As long as it's African food, as long as it's go back to the American, whatever, I ain't doing it. But African food, I'll try anything. I would try a food at least one time. I'm an F2. My husband traveled to Nigeria for almost a year now, leaving me and 2 kids. Okay, we're citizens behind the possible. Yeah, I think I've answered your question earlier on that. It would be best you can, but it would be best to sit down and talk to an attorney and see if, because so he's been there for almost a year and you're F2. So that means that without him being here, but at this point, they probably have even deactivated his service account. Talk to a lawyer. Talk to a lawyer. And you need to talk to a lawyer now, because I'm assuming it's been more than a year you've been in the country. And if that's the case, then because you're in valid status, then that you have the exemption of changes in your personal circumstances why you couldn't file within the first year, but you have to file within a reasonable time. So Pending valve application got my prima facie asylum was approved. Do you think it's safe for me to travel? Same answer, Miss Aminat. Talk to your lawyer, ask them. Everybody has everybody's case, but in your case, Miss Aminat, I would talk to the lawyer. I would talk to the lawyer. I don't anticipate any issues, but I just thought of something. But I will talk to the lawyer. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, okay. Yeah, I said everybody has it anyway because I like you, Mr. Prince. To join Emma Salo. You're welcome, Miss Aminat. I'm sure you know why I said that, right? So, yeah. I mean, I know to an extent, but I don't anticipate any issues. But I would just be safer that you do. Okay. All right. I think got to. Yeah. See, that's why I came up from me so I can get this done at 9:30. Can you file for your ex-spouse? Miss Ajoke, when it's your last name. So, ṣé ẹ̀yin àwọn tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ nípa láàrin pé gbàtẹ́ lọ gba visa ẹni àti divorce kò sọ akọ ní káwá sí US pé òkè bóyá lè reconcile. Ẹ wá dé US ẹ wá ní kò work. Níṣẹ́ wá padà together ní ó ti work nísìnyí àbí. I know I'm messy. I know. Wọ́n sọ ní o. Ẹ bá fẹ́ wò pé ṣe lè file fún àwọn brother yẹn again. Well, about the season. Are you a citizen? What jokes about? Are you a citizen, Mr. Joker? Is it possible to get 8 years driver's license when waiting for your green card approval when you're 100? That 8 years driver's license. That would depend on the state. Okay. Can someone who has overstayed his B1B2 apply for EB2 national interest waiver, please? So let's clarify. And I think I've clarified this, but let me just, I know, immigration is a whole lot. And that's why for me, I take time to do this because I know it's a lot of information. Now you have to understand, we got great for nothing. No, it's not great. Just it's it's constant reading. It's like, what? I woke wondering, like, what the hell? What happened? It's all white. That's okay. Because it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot, and it's constantly changing. Like, even for me, I go back to my resources, like, okay, let me run this through and make it make sense. So I understand. But this is how it is with EB2 national interest waiver. And just to clarify, there is petition and then there is green card. It's not just EB2 national interest waiver. That's everything. There's petition and there's green card. Petition, green card. Petition is the foundation, the basis for you applying for this right here. Before you get to this, you gotta get over this. Sometimes it's all wrapped in one, meaning an example would be a 42B, which you file in immigration court. It's all wrapped in one application, and green card all wrapped in one. Most of the time, you've got a foundation first and then a green card application. The foundation here is EB2 in your situation, which is the same thing as a national interest waiver, an I-140 petition that gets approved. No issues, because whether or not you're physically present in the United States or you're outside the country, you can file an I-140 petition. You can file an I-130. You can be the beneficiary of an I-130 petition. You can even file an I-360 file petition if you meet the being outside, not physically present requirements. That's that. That is approved. The next question now is, based on this approval, can I get a green card? That's where admissibility issue comes in. So I say all that to say this. Can you apply for an IW? Yes, because it's a standalone petition outside of the green card. So you can. That's number one. Now the question of you overstaying has nothing to do with you being able to apply for this right here. It has to do with whether after this has been approved, the petition, can you apply for a green card? So the green card is not wrapped into EB2. EB2 is the petition itself. The green card is the adjustment of status process based on you being admissible. And if you've overstayed a B1, B2 visa, in spite of you potentially getting an approved I-140, you will not be able to apply for your green card in the country. And if you've overstayed more than 180 days, you will be subject to at least a 3-year bar. That means you need a waiver before you leave the country, and you must have a qualified relative. I hope that helps to clarify that, because I get that question a lot. So that's how that works with admissibility. Okay. Thank you, Miss Abena. All righty. Can I still file for VAW after my petitioner withdraws my I-130? Absolutely. That's actually part of your potentially part of your abuse case. Let's stay updated now. Thank you. It's going to be 2 weeks this week. Okay. Let's see if you. Okay, Mr. Prince. Let's see if you want to come on. It's been a while we did live consultation, but oh, you know what? I won't. Oh my wow. Yeah, I was gonna say that's okay. Just put the sound on. Just put the sound on. How are you?
Hi, ma. Good evening, ma.
Good evening. How is it going over there? So we're still hoping. It's been 2 weeks now.
It's gonna be 2 weeks. This Friday, like this coming Friday.
Like 3 days from now.
3 days from now, yes, ma'am. So, and I think contacted that person, you know, that, so he was like, he was still repeating the same thing, that if I know I'm not guilty of those two things, he even did a program about it. He did a live program about it. So he was like, he was not even aware of it, that his client was not aware of it. That, but she just calm down. If I know I'm not guilty of those things.
But the thing is, it doesn't stop you. In spite of that, I always say, for instance, it's almost default for most of my cases. I do a FOIA request. And then when they, like, I had an interview that we went for that way back in February.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And there were a lot of things that they said that I was not aware of in my client's record. And my client said, no, that didn't happen. The very next day, what I did was to submit the FOIA request. Because if they're telling me something is in the record and my client is saying nothing happened, I want to see what's in that record.
Exactly.
There's just no way around it. So if I see the record, because sometimes when they interview you or something and they're telling you something, it's because there's something that's part of, they've made some investigation. It may be a mix-up, that's okay. But at least I want to see what's going on. And the way to see what's going on is, I remember somebody, even one of the people here this evening, and she knows who it is. We got her record and we're able to see some notes that USCIS had made that may become an issue in the future. Sometimes when they do investigation, and it may be a mix-up, but sometimes you're able to see, because they have to put it as part of your records and make notes. That's the blessing. And the FOIA is like an insight into what's to come. And if there's nothing in your record, at least you can say, okay, the where's the proof of what you guys are saying? If there's nothing in your record, then you can go ahead and make a congressional assistance request and say, hey, my case has been pending for too long. There's no reason why it should be pending, especially if it now becomes 120 days since you had your N-400 application. At that point, you can actually take, I was going to say take the ass of court, excuse me, because you can get it aggravated. But that is the passion I have. Take them to court and say, hey, you've got to make a decision, because there's nothing stopping you from making a decision. Before you can boldly say that, you have to get your record.
Yes, ma'am. And again, if they find something like that on my record, why would they even approve me for VAWA in the first place? Remember, I got approved for VAWA.
Exactly.
Like the immigration officer himself stated, he said he doesn't think those people know what they are doing, but he doesn't believe them.
And it just may be an investigation. It may be something that just rubbed. Maybe there was something that maybe you were friends with someone whose name was involved, and now because that happens, and then they go in and like, okay, who are the circular friends for this person, and start to investigate and what, because that has happened in someone else's case of naturalization. We got them, they were asking him, who is this person? Who is this person? How do you know this person? And the next day we did a FOIA request. And based on the FOIA request, I was able to see that because they were investigating someone that he had worked with and he was still friends with, They were investigating my client as well. He was cleared, but at least I was at peace. Like, okay, we're just waiting for them to finish their investigation, which they had to do. But to just sit back and just say, okay, it's nothing. That's fine. If it's nothing, I'm just too feisty and I'm just too curious not to know what I would be more worried for the client than the client is.
I'm very, 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 very worried. But
nothing stops you from doing it yourself, though.
Okay, I can do it myself.
Absolutely. You don't have to say anything.
Oh, okay.
Because it doesn't go to your lawyer's office. It doesn't go. You just submit it yourself, and it goes directly to you. You just have to show that it's you requesting it because you've got confidential records. Now, because you got confidential records, you have to do a written consent with your ID and submit it electronically. And you can email me, and I can tell you how to go about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, there's just no way around it for me. I would not even be able to sleep.
Yeah, I've not been able to sleep. It's getting me really depressed because that's something I've never even
heard about and all that.
Life.
Yeah.
I've never done something like that in my entire life. I've been in this country for 13 years, man.
Like you rightly said, good moral character is part of if that was the case, then that should have been an issue. But then we still also have the other one, the other sub-var, that you know what I'm talking about, and then the natural. So there's a whole lot of moving parts that is just to be on the safe side. I would have done a FOIA like 200 years ago and just get it. Like, okay, I just need to know. Once I have it, I review it and know that, okay, at least you know what weapon you're fighting with. You're not going to go to a battle with and say you're eating popcorn. No, it doesn't work that way. You've got to know if you're going to fight David or Goliath. That's the way I operate.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's what I would recommend to do.
The way I'm thinking about it, I think maybe if I wait for a few more weeks and it doesn't do anything, maybe I'll just do it myself. I'll just contact you and pay you because at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one they will try to send back, not in.
Along there, DJ. Along, DJ. But why can't you do it now? There's nothing stopping you from doing it now. It's just a submission, and really, I would just give you the link because obviously I have to charge you, but I'll just give you the link and tell you this is what you need to do and add to that. Submit it, go through it, and just submit it electronically. You can submit, and they'll send you the records electronically.
Oh, okay, I'll do that, man.
So that it doesn't go to you. It goes directly to the email address that you put in there, which is going to be your email, and so that's basically how that works. Email me.
You won't even get to know. Okay.
No,
okay.
Email me and give me because I have criminal trials tomorrow morning, so that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. But email me, but I'll get to my emails after court tomorrow, and I'll respond to that.
Yes, man. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Can you nice night?
Thank you, man. Yes,
no, I don't know how to turn you off. You got it. I think you've got it. That's the issue here. All right. Okay. So
thank you, man. Thank you, man.
No worries. Okay. All right, everybody. So I think we have been. I'm not getting my let's turn up on your end. I think.
Let me.
Okay. See, two of us. We don't understand how this thing works. Somebody help us. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, people. So I guess we have found for ED. We adjustment status on biometrics is done. So far, no update. Any idea how long it's going to take? USCI said go /person time. Can you have a kid while filing for BOW? Nothing stops you from procreating while your BOW case is suspended. You just cannot get married. Thank you for everything. Absolutely. I always fight. I look like I'm fighting. No, I know. I get feisty about. See, I understand the journey. This is something that I've walked in these shoes. I know what it feels like to just be waiting and being anxious. I know it. So anyway, but I smile at the end of the day. Anyway, you're coming on. You're coming on. Are you coming on, Miss Savannah? Come on. If you weren't coming, I'll put you on. We've come a mighty long way. And I just believe that if I could win all cases, oh Lord, I would be she. But then it keeps me grounded and keeps me humbled and keeps me knowing that I need Jesus each and every day. But at the same time, if whatever way I can encourage people, like I always tell my clients, I can be your first opinion or second opinion. It doesn't matter. It's not about me. It's about you. I've run my own race. I'm a citizen. Thank God, because I know what the race felt like. So I know it's not an easy one. I'm not going to get in your way. My ego has nothing to do with your future here. Absolutely nothing to do with thinking me funny. It's not about me. It's about you. If you get that green card, if it's not, even if your second opinion gets you the green card, I would rejoice with you, because it's not about me. It's not about how I made it. No, it's not about making it happen. It's about God making it happen for you. And I believe and truly know that the same God that has made it happen for many, many of us going through this journey, which is not easy, years upon years for so many people, the same God is going to make it happen for each and every one of us. And we'll all have our own unique and favored testimony, God willing. See you guys on Thursday. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.